Once, they were the faces of perfection, icons who defined beauty itself. But time, fame, and pressure changed everything. Behind every transformation lies a story of pain, survival, and identity. Because in Hollywood, beauty doesn't fade, it transforms. In this video, we're diving into the most shocking plastic surgery disasters that ended careers and the painful stories behind them. Goldie Hawn. Once known as Hollywood's Golden Girl, Goldie Hawn embodied joy. Her laughter, her eyes, pure sunshine. But as the decades passed, that same sunshine drew unwanted attention. Whispers began, "Has Goldie done something to her face?" She brushed it off, smiling as always. "I just take care of myself," she'd say. But the cameras told another story. Tiny changes, a smoother forehead, lifted cheeks, a tighter jawline, subtle, yet impossible to ignore. The tabloids went wild, but Goldie stayed radiant, refusing to let judgment steal her spark. "I love life," she said, "and that's what shows." In truth, her transformation wasn't about vanity. It was survival in an industry that forgets women after 40. She didn't chase youth, she protected her happiness. But that wasn't the whole story, because another woman in the world of fashion would face far harsher scrutiny next. Donatella Versace. After Gianni Versace's tragic passing, Donatella stepped into the fire. She didn't just run the empire, she became its face, its soul, its myth. But under the bright lights of fashion, even legends burn. Over the years, Donatella's look began to change dramatically. Her lips fuller, her skin tighter, her features sharper. A transformation that shocked the world. The press mocked her, calling her unrecognizable. But Donatella stood tall. "I'm proud of who I am," she said, with that trademark defiance. What most forgot was that behind the glamour stood a woman grieving, rebuilding, carrying her brother's legacy on her shoulders. Each surgery, each reinvention, it wasn't vanity, it was armor. And that armor built one of fashion's most powerful women. Fierce, untouchable, timeless. And what came next would prove just how cruel that fight could get. Joan Van Ark. Once the elegant face of Knots Landing, Joan Van Ark was the definition of classic Hollywood beauty. Her delicate features, her soft voice, and her grace made her a television icon. But when she reappeared years later, the world gasped. Her face seemed frozen in time, smooth, tight, almost unreal. The tabloids pounced, calling it Hollywood's saddest transformation. Critics tore her apart without mercy. But few remembered the truth. Joan had spent decades under the cruel spotlight, pressured to look forever young. Every actress of her generation faced that same silent war: disappear or fight the years. Joan chose to fight. Beneath the harsh makeup and the flashbulbs was a woman refusing to vanish. She once said, "I'm still me, just older, graceful, resilient, unapologetic." But soon, another transformation would make headlines, one that blurred the line between fame and obsession. Sylvester Stallone. He was the symbol of raw strength. Rocky, Rambo, the fighter who never quit. But even warriors face time. When Sylvester Stallone returned to the screen in the 2000s, fans noticed something strange. His rugged, weathered face, now smooth, his jaw sharper, his eyes tighter. The whispers began, "What happened to Stallone?" Critics said he'd gone too far, but Sly just laughed. "You can't box with time," he joked. In truth, Stallone had gone through multiple facial repairs after years of boxing injuries and stunts. The surgeries weren't about vanity. They were about recovery. But Hollywood doesn't see nuance. They mocked. They labeled. Yet Stallone did what he's always done: fought back. Every wrinkle, every scar, every choice, proof that survival in this town takes more than muscle. And soon, another transformation would take that battle with time to the extreme. Amanda Lepore. Amanda Lepore isn't just a celebrity. She's a phenomenon, a living work of art who built her identity from courage and transformation. Born in New Jersey, Amanda began her metamorphosis in her teens, chasing not perfection, but truth. Every inch of her look was designed with intention. The platinum hair, the crimson lips, the impossible curves. She became the muse of photographers, the heartbeat of New York's underground scene, and the face of fearless reinvention. Critics mocked her, calling her too much. But that was her power. Amanda turned pain into art and surgery into storytelling. She never hid, never apologized. "I created myself," she once said, and she meant it. Her story isn't about beauty, it's about freedom. But the next tale would reveal how easily that pursuit could turn tragic. Linda Evangelista. She was one of the original supermodels, untouchable, flawless, divine. In the 90s, Linda Evangelista could stop time with a single look. Then, decades later, she disappeared. No red carpets, no campaigns, nothing. When she finally returned, the truth stunned the world. A cosmetic treatment meant to refresh her face had left her brutally altered. She confessed to hiding for years, ashamed and broken. But when she spoke, the world listened and embraced her again. The once perfect beauty had become human, vulnerable, real. Her courage transformed the narrative. Beauty wasn't about being flawless anymore. It was about surviving the fall. Linda stood tall, scarred, but unshaken. "I'm not hiding anymore," she declared. And while she found peace, another star would soon lose herself chasing the same illusion. Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke was Hollywood's bad boy. Wild, magnetic, irresistible. He walked away from fame to become a boxer, chasing something real. But the price was brutal. Years of punches shattered his face, forcing reconstructive surgeries. When he came back to Hollywood, the world barely recognized him. Gone was the matinee idol, replaced by a man carved by pain and survival. Critics mocked him, calling his face unfixable. But Mickey didn't care. "I've been through worse," he said. Beneath the scars was a fighter's heart, broken, rebuilt, still burning. His transformation wasn't about vanity. It was the story of a man who refused to give up, even when the world turned away. But what came next would blur the line between survival and obsession. Monique Allen. Monique Allen dreamed of perfection, the kind sold by magazines and movies. She believed beauty could fix what life broke. But after countless surgeries, she was left with pain and regret. Her health declined, her confidence shattered. Yet, Monique didn't hide. "I did this for happiness, not attention," she said. She began speaking publicly about the dangers of obsession and the dark side of cosmetic culture. Her story became a warning, a reminder that perfection is an illusion, and chasing it can destroy what's real. Today, Monique embraces her scars as proof of survival. But the next transformation would go even further, beyond obsession, into the surreal. Jocelyn Wildenstein. Jocelyn Wildenstein, the name that became legend and warning. Once a glamorous New York socialite, she transformed herself to please the man she loved, inspired by the feline grace he admired. Over the years, her face changed completely. Eyes lifted, cheeks sculpted, lips reshaped, until the media dubbed her Catwoman. The headlines were cruel, the ridicule endless. But Jocelyn never apologized. Behind the tabloid circus was a woman heartbroken, shaped by loneliness and love. "I've always loved cats," she said. But what she really meant was, she once loved deeply enough to change everything. Today, she lives quietly, away from the flash and judgment, her story a haunting reflection of obsession and loss. And with that, the line between beauty and tragedy had never looked thinner.